welcome to another episode of an Octave Higher! So, this might be the last one. I know I said that last time, but this one might be it. This one. Not the last one. This one. So, we're gonna see if I got the ending I didn't want again. So, yeah. Let's see here. Let's see what happens. Alright. I don't know if I saved here last. Yeah, I totally didn't. It's a good thing I hit continue, because I just end up continuing where I left off, which is good, because then I'd have to, like, literally skip, like, absolutely everything, and that would suck. I didn't even think of that. I guess I forgot last time. Whatever. It's hard to see anything in the dark alley at night, and Elise told me to refrain from using illumination magic. With my clothes and impeccable grammar, I stick out enough here as it is. Elise talks to people on the street. They tell her that they haven't seen a bourgeois today except me, but some of them remember seeing a bourgeois in very expensive-looking get-up yesterday around sundown. We ask them where this person went. Unfortunately, none of them seem to know. A group of pearls tells us they saw Frederick go into a certain alley, but later someone else says she saw him come out of that same alley. Either they're misremembering or Frederick was walking the streets randomly. Following whatever clues we could gather from the locals, we inch our way from muddy street to muddy street, gloomy alley to gloomy alley, farther and farther away from the factory where we last saw Frederick. The pearl's friendliness fades away with the light. Even Elise is now looked at with contempt and envy. In this neighborhood, many of these people seem to be even worse off than factory workers. Very few of those who are willing to talk anymore remember seeing Frederick. It's almost as if he had suddenly vanished. Finally, we find someone who gives us a clear answer.
Oh, that witch bourgeois? Yeah, nasty fella he was, rude and foul-mouthed.
There's no mistake. That's Frederick, all right.
I only asked him if he was fine because he was stumbling like he was walking dead. You should have seen him. Oh, he was tipsy rascal to be sure. His face was as wet as a sheet. I thought he was sick. So I asked him if he were fine, but damn if the kid didn't pick a fight with me. He used some magic too, so he did. Had I some mana myself, I'd have nullified his ego and transformed his nards into scongin and a cooter.
The man grits his teeth, his ears are red. Do you know where he is now?
Oh, he's done for. Little rascal picked a fight with the libertines, so he did. I was out for the count, mind. Brain ain't no chance had him made out of here.
With libertines? Why couldn't he have won? He's pretty good with magic. The man sneers at me as if it were an extremely dumb thing to have asked.
'Cause one of them libertines was Hendrix. You don't mess around none.
Who's Hendrix?
If you don't know, best keep it that way, kid.
Please tell us, mister. Please? Elise looks up at the man's face with wide, wistful eyes, blinking a few times. As if charmed by magic, the man's gaze is drawn to Elise's puppy dog eyes. He sighs.
Fine. Man by the name of Fyodor Hendrix is the leader of Libertad. He is the liberator, so he is.
I want to ask liberate from whom, but decide against it. Where can we find him?
Find Hendrix?
Yeah.
Forget it, kid. Don't go looking for trouble, because he'll give it to you in spades, so he will.
Please tell us, mister. Please?
Get you home, little ones. You shouldn't be out here at this hour.
Elise's puppy dog eyes aren't working anymore, but I suddenly get an idea. Elise, give me your hand. Huh? I take Elise's delicate hand and hold it in mine.
Hey, why be lovey-dovey all of a sudden? That's fine, though. Just be on your way.
I whisper to Elise again. Let your compassion flow. Elise follows my instruction and fills her mana with compassion, focusing it on the palm that's in contact with mine. I do the same with intelligence. Transform on 3. 1, 2, 3. We both invoke the transform ability at the same time, compassionately and intelligently directing our magic at the proletariat man. The simple charm only makes someone temporarily like you instead of directly manipulating their mind, but if they like you, they're more inclined to help you. I can't normally cast this spell because I'm not gifted in compassion, but together Elise and I can. Elise, do the puppy dog eyes again. Huh? Puppy? Elise cocks her head while staring confusedly at me. Ask him about Hendrix again. Okay. Elise looks at the charmed man. Please tell us where to find Hendrix, mister. Please? With her puppy dog eyes. The man is quiet, his eyes unblinking, still dazed and dazzled in a hypnotic state, all emotions gone from his face. His mouth stays momentarily half open, until at last it lets out a voice kinder than that with which he spoke before.
Fine, but you do be careful, you hear? You can find Hendrix at Libertad's hideout. It's in the brothel.
The brothel?
Maison de Beauvoir. It's over there. Just follow the street, and then when you find...
I know where it is. Thank you, mister. Not wanting to waste any time, we walk away and head to Maison de Beauvoir. Elise heads the way through a dark alley lit only by oil lamps hung outside some houses. Franz? Elise speaks in a very low, timid voice, her cheeks painted crimson by the light of the oil lamps. It must feel weird to know that the place where you used to live is a criminal hideout. Well, yeah, but Franz... With eyes downcast, she starts to slow down. It's okay, we're just going to find Frederick and get out of there, right? Yeah, but, you're still holding my hand. Oh! I look down and, indeed, I'm still touching Elise's small, nice and soft, if slightly cold hand. Sorry. I let go as nonchalantly as I can manage. Oh, cutesy pootsy peoples. The building stands tall and bright amid the dead quiet of the slum around it. Sounds of people laughing and mingling on the street combine with sounds of sinful debauchery coming from inside the building. This is the singing voice of Maison de Beauvoir. The vicinity of the building is livelier than other proles places. Who'd have guessed that a den of criminals lay hidden in the most conspicuous place in the whole district? Franz, what do we do? Do you know a way in? I mean, besides the front door? Well, there's a back door in the kitchen, but it can only be opened from inside. That's useless. Why don't you just go in as a customer? It sounds like an intriguing idea. No, I'm too attractive. I wouldn't be able to move freely with all the girls fawning over me. No, I don't think you'll have to worry about that. Ouch, that hurt, Elise. But in all seriousness, I can't go in as a customer because they're not going to just let a customer wander around by himself looking for a secret room. Anyway, are there any other ways to get inside? Elise thinks hard with a hand under her chin, her eyes scanning the Mason building. I know! We can go in through my bedroom window. Good, let's go. Elise leads me away from the front door, ambling down streets around the building until we arrive at a narrow, unpaved path behind it. Here it is! I gaze straight ahead and concrete wall gazes back at me. Where? There. I follow Elise's pointed finger with my eyes, trailing up along the wall 10 feet, 20 feet, and finally stopping at 30 feet above the ground. That's the roof. Look closer. Eventually, I do indeed notice a small window up there. That's your bedroom? That was my bedroom. I used to think that only rats and spiders lived in the roof. How do we get up there? I was hoping you'd know. Oh, well, of course, I'm the magical scientist, so I must know how to break into hard-to-reach places at night. Yeah, using the power of science! Note to self, teach Elise to recognize sarcasm. Anyway, the window. Lucky for us, I do happen to know the right spell for this. Elise, stand in front of me and relax your body. Okay? With Elise standing in front of me, I extend my arms towards her and open my palms. Friends, you know it looks like you're reaching for... Oh! Elise's body starts to lift slowly, her posture unchanged, her feet no longer in contact with the earth. Obeying my hand's upward motion, wind carries her body up. Steadily and carefully, I levitate Elise to the window. When she's close enough, she opens the window and enters the attic. Well, at least she didn't lock the window. Using the same spell, I float myself up to the window and enter the attic bedroom. Franz, that was so fun! Wow, so you used to live here. Yep, until 5 days ago I slept in this bed every night. It's filthy. Hey! Sorry. Anyway, where could a libertad be hiding? Lisa's in deep thought again, her eyes fixed on the ceiling. I can think of a few places. Good, what are they? The kitchen is perfect because you can make grilled cheese sandwich if you're hungry. Okay, good start. Probably not, but let's roll with it. What else have you got? Maybe the bathroom? I used to hide there when I was small. I don't think the libertines could all fit in the bathroom, Elise. Good point. Well, there's the basement, but the basement is so dark and scary. You have no idea. I wouldn't hide there. The basement? Yeah, that must be it. They must be hiding in the basement. Huh? Didn't you hear what I said about how dark and scary it was? I did indeed. Show me how to get down there. Okay. We descend a small flight of stairs to the second floor. In the hallway, some girls are chatting and giggling with each other while other girls are entertaining customers. There's so much noise just from the hallways and lobby that we barely even need to whisper. Elise and I are hiding behind the stairs to the attic. We can't go to the basement through the hall. There are too many people. Do you know any other way? No, that's the only way. Don't you know any spell to make us invisible? Unfortunately, I don't. I glance about the massive room. Its walls and floor sparkle under the light. But I happen to know something else. Elise, do you see those lamps? Yeah. Do you know what's inside them? Balls of light. They're summoned by illuminators. That's correct. And if we happen to have the magical traits required to summon the light, faith and compassion. Okay. And how will summoning those balls of light help us get past these people without them knowing? Excuse me. It won't. But what do you think will happen if we nullify instead of summon? Oh, I see. Everything will go dark and we'll be able to slip by in the confusion. Let's do it. Well, yeah? I need your hand again, if you don't mind. I extend my hand to her. I don't mind. She takes my hand and her compassion starts flowing and mixing with my faith. We concentrate our mana at the spot where our palms are in contact with each other. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Suddenly, Mason de Beauvoir is swallowed up by darkness. Everyone panics. Hey, what happened?
Why are the lights out?
It's already sundown. My wife was waiting at home. Sundown is more than 2 or 4 hours ago, silly. Put that down the whiskey bottle.
Calm down, everyone. An illuminator is on his way.
Let's make a run for it. Okay. We quickly go downstairs to the first floor, make our way across the lobby, pass through the kitchen, and find a door somewhere at the back. Beyond the door are more stairs leading down into the dark and apparently scary basement. We descend slowly, careful not to make any noises. The stairs end at a long corridor with doors on both sides. Down here, the sound of shouting, giggling, and moaning from above can hardly be heard. Instead, we can hear other people talking from behind closed doors. We tiptoe very slowly, very quietly, so as not to alert the Libertad members who are standing guard in the dimly lit corridor. The darkness helps to hide us, but even so, we exercise caution, sneaking past the guards only when they look away or leave the corridor. We walk by several doors that hum with chatter, but soon we come across a door behind which comes muffled cries. I try to open the door, but it's locked. Looking up, I see a small trickle vent above it, too small for a person to pass through, but large enough to peek inside the room. Levitation won't work here. Somewhere would feel the magical aura. Instead, I tell Elise to look for the guards and pull myself up to the vent and peek inside. In the otherwise empty room is Frederick, tied to a chair, struggling to free himself. He's gagged, but from the look on his face, he's swearing up a storm. Franz, what do you see inside? Elise asks in a soft whisper, only loud enough for me to hear. Frederick. How is he? Despite some cuts and bruises on his skin and other signs of injury, Frederick looks healthy enough, evident from the blazing fury in his wild eyes. He's swearing a lot, so he must be fine. Can we free him? If we can open the door, we can get him out of here. How do we do that? Go ask a Libertine where they keep the key. What about calling the police? Well, I looked for the key last time and that was kind of hopeless, so let's just call the police. Good idea. Let's call the police. There are too many Libertines for us to deal with. They're going to find us before we find the key. Frederick doesn't seem to be in immediate danger, and the situation will just get much worse if we get caught. Yeah, I think you're right. Alright, let's go back. Do we go back upstairs? Do you see any other way? No, but how do we get past all those people in the lobby? Must we make the room dark again? I never thought about our escape plan, but Elise has raised an important question. We couldn't possibly nullify the light again because that'd cause too much alarm. What can we do? Suddenly I remember something that Elise told me before we went inside Mason. Hey, didn't you mention a back door that can be opened from inside? Oh, that's right. The back door is in the kitchen, and we can get to the kitchen from the basement without going through the lobby. Good, let's do that. Okay. We go back the same way we came, heading to the staircase while sneaking past the guards as carefully as before. But before we reach the staircase, I hear some men's voices from a room on my left.
But to think that the kid turns out to be the son of Joff Godwin. What a surprise! What do you plan to do with him, Hendrix?
Elise, wait. A surprise indeed. I only wanted to teach the damn kids some manners. I didn't imagine he'd be a Godwin. They're talking about Frederick, and it's not just some meaningless chatter like what we heard from the other rooms. Sounds like some Libertad higher-ups are having a meeting.
With a Godwin on our hands, we can kickstart the revolution.
Revolution? What are they talking about? Elise, you go ahead and have Lord Godwin call the police. I'll meet you at Lord Godwin's house. What? Aren't you going to come with me? Shh, I want to know what Libertad is planning. But they might want to harm Frederick, you know. Are you sure? What if you get caught? Another good question. What if I get caught? I'm in an incredibly dangerous position here, but I need to know what they're planning. Well, all the more reason to call the police. Franz. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Now go. Okay. Be careful, Franz. With a nod, I send Elise on her way. After making sure that she's reached the staircase safely, I hide myself behind a file cabinet and listen carefully to the Libertads meeting. Muscular man. Oh, you! I don't think I gave you a voice. Hendrix, I understand your way of thinking, but if I may, I'd like to ask that you reconsider. It's still much too early for Libertad to target Lord Godwin. He's a powerful man. The air of elegance with which the muscular brown-skinned man speaks in his foreign accent belies his proletariat presentation. The man he calls Hendrix doesn't reply, but even in his silence, the unkempt and thinly bearded man wields authority. The police are ignoring us because they don't realize how organized we are. Ransoming Lord Godwin's son will change all that. I would have him released were it up to me. Blindfold him and let him go far away from here so he can't lead the police back here. Release him? Jasang, ransom or not, the kid is a punk. This guy needs punished on principle. Gasang? Where have I heard that name? Instead of Hendrix, another Libertad member has voiced his opinion, but this Gasang doesn't pay him any mind. Hendrix, it is not wise to wait. Is it not wise to wait until we enlarge our ranks? I respect your opinion, Jasang, but the dilemma of time is that everything is always either too early or too late. Starting too early may be bad for us, but it's better than starting too late. I feel like I'm just gonna get the same ending as before, with how things are going so far. The proletariat has been enduring injustice for too long. If now is not the time to bring the capitalists to their knees, when is? And finally, we've been handed a bargaining chip. Jasang, your entire country was forced into labor by the upper-class pigs that this Godwin child represents. Your people slave away and your country is drained of all its natural resources, all for mana. I know this, Hendrix. This is why we must fight. Day and night our people work themselves to death, endlessly producing magic machines that enrich the bourgeois. They build conservatoires to educate their children in ways of magic, yet our children are exposed to work. They prepare their children to change the world on the backs of our children. We are poor because we don't have mana, but mana is money in today's world. If you don't have mana in Overture, you can't live a proper life. Pah! They claim this kingdom is a constitutional monarchy, but the very same constitution that protects the bourgeois' ownership of mana also gives them absolute power to rule over us, the labor. They are kings and we are slaves. And who is the king of the slave owners? Joff Godwin! Joff Godwin! Yes, Joff Godwin. He owns magical, mechanical, and by extension he owns most of the people in this town. For what he lacks in raw wealth over the king, he more than makes up for in raw power. Overture is the most technologically advanced city in the world. We have knowledge, and knowledge is power. But elites like Godwin won't hand over their power willingly. It is up to Libertad, to us, to reclaim this country. We will build a new, stateless and classless society where everyone is equal. Overture is divided because some people have mana and some do not, but we have the resources to give everyone mana potions. We will make a new society, a better one in which everyone shall be a magician of equal standing. Mages and wizards will be things of the past, empty ranks. We will give everyone access to mana. When every magician has mana, we will be judged on how much we contribute to society, not by what social class we were born into. That is just. That is equality. And a just social system can only be governed by a just government, a government of by and for the people. That is our revolution, Jasang. It is the same that will bring you to your homeland, and once we're successful here, the people's revolution will succeed. Libertad is the people. I have faith in the revolution and the courage to fight for our liberty. For a while, they're all silent. So will you lend me your power, men? Will you lay down your lives for the revolution? Of course, Hendrix. I'm intelligent enough to know that this is a righteous cause. My compassion lies with the proletariat. My power lies with the people. We will support you, Hendrix! For our liberty!
For liberty!
For liberty!
For liberty!
For liberty! A classless society ruled by a new government of by and for the people. The men are still chanting, but I think I've heard enough. I'm not sure what to think about what I've just heard, but at any rate, I need to get to Lord Godwin's house as soon as possible. I quietly sneak past the guards and leave the basement. I'm just gonna end up getting the same ending, aren't I? Franz! Franz! Aretha, why are you here? Because Elise told me what you guys were doing. I didn't want to make Aretha and Alanis worried, so I stopped by their house to let them know. And then I followed Elise here. Lord Godwin comes forward. Thank you for locating my fool of a son. How was he? As far as I could tell, Frederick wasn't in immediate danger. Have you notified the police? Hey kid, we meet again. Huh? Isn't she the policewoman whom Elise and I met the other night? I've heard about what happened from your sister. She smirks at me when she said sister. I don't think I've introduced myself properly. I'm Janice Wolfe, commander of Overture Police's Dragoon Unit. Dragoon? Did Lord Godwin just call the commander of Overture's most elite special forces unit to his house? Nice to meet you, Commander Wolfe. My name is Fran. So what'd you hear from them, kid? Huh? Your sister told me that you stayed behind because you wanted to eavesdrop on Libertad's meeting. Who'd you see? Fyodor Hendricks? Jisang Halasabana? Yes, both Hendricks and Jisang were there. Those were the only two names I caught. The woman turns her head only slightly, just enough to glimpse at Lord Godwin with one eye. You're right, Joff. That's a big catch. I wouldn't have called you otherwise. Huh. She looks back at me, her face stern. And what was the meeting about? They were talking about starting a revolution. They want to bring down the monarchy and create a proletariat government. Huh, I knew Libertad was up to no good. They're too organized to be your average circle jerk of mana potion thieves. Joff, I can't use my Dragoon unit without the King's approval, but I'll go gather some boys and commence the operation in 30 minutes. I understand. I'm counting on you, Janice. The Dragoon commander gives the Lord a quick nod and leaves. Lord Godwin turns to the rest of us. Now off you go home. The police will take care of the rest. Yes, my lord. Let's go, friends. Yeah, let's go. I'm tired too. Let's go home. No, we're not going home. We're not going home. Huh? We'll go to Maison de Beauvoir. To Maison de Beauvoir. Huh? And I still think I'm getting the ending I already got before, and I'm gonna be really fucking pissed if that's the case. I really hope that's not what's happening. I really hope that's not what's happening at all. Though that seems to be the case. I don't know exactly how they managed this, but I'm now back at Mason together with Elise and Aretha. The atmosphere has completely changed. The proles that were singing and dancing outside are no longer in sight. There are no more voices coming from the house. Instead, there is a swarm of several dozen mages in Overture, police uniforms surrounding Maison de Beauvoir. A chair-shaped one-seater carriage, the trademark mount of a dragoon, descends in front of Mason's front door. Commander Wolfe! The woman jumps off her flying chair and lands in one graceful movement. You shouldn't be here, kid. What happened here? How's Frederick? We underestimated the Libertans, I guess. We wanted to approach quietly and take them by surprise, but when we were still a mile away, a Libertan saw us flying and fired a fireball to the sky. 2 seconds later, we saw another fireball in the distance, and then another, one even farther away. And then we realized that it was their way of relaying an alert, so we dispensed with stealth and got here as fast as we could. We were able to apprehend some Libertans who were fleeing Mason, but a few of them are still holed up inside. I believe Hendricks and Alisabana are both still in there. Frederick Godwin is too, so basically we're now at a stalemate. We can't storm in because they've got a hostage. They can't escape because they're surrounded. If I had my dragoons, this'd be over in 5 minutes, but as far as the King's concerned, this is just your standard rescue operation, so I'm stuck with your standard issue police officers. What are you planning now? Frankly, that's none of your business, but don't worry. I'll get your friend out even if I have to go in there by myself. Are you sure? I heard their leader Hendricks is very powerful. Hendricks? Compared to you? I'm sure he is. Well, if you're that confident, I guess there's no problem. Fyodor Hendricks is only about as good as your average dragoon. Not something to sneeze at, but I'm not worried about him. It's Jisang Halasabana who might ruin my night. Mages in the police force's Dragoon unit are chosen among the most elite of mages, but Wolfe is saying that Jisang is even better than those mages. It's hard to imagine that kind of power. Just saying. Wolfe looks at Elise piercingly. You saw his magic too, didn't you? You must already have some idea of how powerful that big bastard is. But Jisang is not a bad guy. Listen to me, little girl. In the battlefield, there's no good guys and bad guys. There's you, and there's them. Can you beat this Jisang, dude? I don't know, in one-on-one combat maybe, but if Hendricks joins in, I doubt it. Why don't you bring some policemen in with you? You little twerps are full of questions, aren't you? Wait, how about this? You fight them to buy some time for a cop to free the hostage. The commander glares at us, but at last she rolls her eyes and sighs. Here's the deal. Apparently little Lord Godwin is in the basement. Problem is, apparently none of the officers here have ever frequented this particular mason. It's a big place, and we don't know where to find him. Franz and I know exactly where Frederick is being kept. We can free Frederick while you're fighting. For a moment, it looks like Wolf is going to shoot down Elise's idea, but then she pauses, her mouth dangling open as she contemplates silently for a few seconds, until finally she speaks. And here I thought you were going to keep holding out on me. Listen, I don't like putting civilians at risk, but that's the best plan we have. You two are the only people here who have been inside and who we can trust. But are you brats sure you're comfortable with the risks? Yeah. Count me in. I'm not very... Well, I'm already here, I guess I might as well. Huh, that's the spirit. The commander approaches the mason's front door. She asks without turning to look at us. Ready? Yeah. Casually, Wolf swings her left arm up with the insouciance of a man flinging an empty potion bottle into a trash can. Even so, that lazy movement snaps the door off its hinges and sends it speeding through the air until it slams into the wall at the far end of the lobby. Go! She dashes inside as customers and prostitutes scramble in a panic. Inside, a mob of maybe 20 Libertad members close in on Wolf from every direction. Without batting an eyelash, she raises a finger and casts a spell. Ooh! The air inside Mason suddenly grows dark and heavy. From the ceiling, many crackling balls of lightning materialize and beeline at the Libertans, instantly incapacitating them. They drop to the floor like flies. An amplified thunder or thunderstorm is an extremely powerful magic spell that can take down a battalion of unprepared magicians in an instant. When the thunderstorm subsides, no more Libertans are standing. In fact, I'm not sure whether they are still breathing. But there's no time to admire a magic spell, so Elisa, Aretha, and I rush to the basement. Before we can reach the stairs, however, our path is obstructed by the bulky man from the meeting. Begone! You are not welcome here. Desang! Lady Elise. Well, this is a surprise. Stop this, Desang! What you're doing is wrong! What do you know of right or wrong, young lady? Do you even know what we are doing? No, I don't, but whatever it is, please stop! The proles don't have to fight against the bourgeois. I'm one of the proles too, but I have hope because I have my magic. Desang, magic is not about casting fire or water or wind or quake. Being able to cast magic means being able to dream. Having magic means having hope. All we have to do is hold on to that hope, to our magic. I agree, Lady Elise. That's why we're doing this. We want to create a world in which everyone can have mana. We want everyone to be able to dream. No, that's not what I mean. While Elise is still hesitating, a boulder as big as Jasang's brainy upper body and Jasang's brawny upper body engulfed in a fireball flies by from behind us and onto the muscular mage. Ugh! But Jasang promptly expels raw mana to perform a barrier around his body. The flaming rock dissipates upon contact as though it were made of sand. Little girl, what'd I tell you about good and bad in a battlefield? Get the hostage, now! Okay. We leave the Dragoon commander as she lunges at our large enemy. Yet just as we are about to arrive at the door to the basement, the door bursts into flames and melts into a firewall. From the blazing firewall emerges a figure. Fyodor Hendricks, the leader of Libertad. With no words, he rushes to me with extended arm, from which hand comes forth a raging gale of wind. Not knowing what to do so suddenly, I counter with my own wind magic spell. The opposing gusts of wind clash between the two of us, but his spell is stronger. I'm overpowered and thrown backwards. Ah! I try to ignore the pain as I land. Hendricks will waste no time in finishing me off. This is not a sorcerer match. Still on my back, I reflexively hold my hands out. Sure enough, Hendricks is already standing over me with right hand flame. I unleash another gust of wind to blow the fire away from Hendricks' hand. Well, you're better than that Godwin kid. I scramble backwards and manage to get to my feet before Hendricks strikes again. Franz, are you alright? You two, go and rescue Frederick. But... go now! Not a chance, girls. I aim a hand at the Libertad leader when he glances at the girls as they run away. A jet of water shoots at Hendricks. He sees it coming and sidesteps the attack. That was the idea, though. The jet of water continues moving on its path until it strikes the firewall. The door to the basement! Let's go, Elise! Follow me! We have to leave Franz, but I'm worried about him. Jisung is supposed to be the strongest magician here, but Jisung is at least has kind eyes. That one Franz is fighting must be the one they call Hendrix. Aretha and I dash to the burned wall and down to the basement. We have to work fast. Franz won't be able to last long against that Hendrix man. I run ahead of Aretha and find the room where Frederick is being held. Outside the room, however, we're met with a surprised but strangely enough not hostile scowl of a Libertad member. What are you girls doing down here, huh? Didn't you hear Madame Beauvoir warn you girls to evacuate Mason? Huh? Madame who? Psst, Aretha, I think he's mistaking us for prostitutes. Oh, I see. A sly smile appears on Aretha's lips. No, mister, we didn't hear Madame's warning. At the time, the two of us were... Oh, don't make me say it, you naughty you. The man swallows loudly. He looks confused. Well, why don't you girls get out of here? It's dangerous. But it's so frightening in the lobby. There's this muscular guy and he's so big. You know, I'm scared of things that are too big. And then there's this other man who's squirting fire from his hand. Why is he doing that? It's making me so hot. Actually, it's made us both pretty hot, if you know what I mean. Aretha places a hand on the man's shoulder. She continues talking to the man, but looks at me from the corner of her eyes. Maybe you could help us cool down, mister? She winks at me when she says cool down. Taking the hint, I put a hand on the man's other shoulder, gaze at his face, and say in my cutest voice, please. Ignoring the man's flushed face, I give Aretha a nod and... Cool! The man is encased in a huge block of ice, a combination of Aretha's water and my freeze spell. His body is tense, but his blinking eyes and quivering lips are signs that he is alive. I think we shouldn't leave him frozen for more than a couple of minutes, though. I've always wanted to cast that spell. Aretha, it's scary how good you are at seducing men. You know, I practice on Franz all the time. What? Franz? Does he know? Maybe we should talk about this later, Elise. Right. We run past the Iceman to the door behind him. The door is still locked, so I touch the door's wooden surface. No use in keeping quiet now. The door is swallowed in flame. Next is Aretha's turn. She douses the fire with water coming out of her hand. Frederick! Frederick looks up. He's on guard. He must have thought a Libertad was coming to take him away, but then his face softens when he realizes he's being rescued. Frederick, you're hurt! I place a finger on his forehead and let compassion swim through the mana in my body. Over these last 4 days, I've cast this spell on torn sheets of paper, shards of glass, a dented plate of aluminum, a partially sewn wooden plank, a dozen cracked eggs, a poor teddy bear with its head ripped off, a half-eaten slice of pizza, and of course my broken piano. It worked! Frederick's bruises and cuts fade with the light of my magic. We've managed to rescue Frederick, but we're not safe yet. We still need to get out of Mason de Beauvoir, and although his wounds are healed, I don't know if Frederick has any mana in him to fight. And Franz is still fighting Hendrix upstairs. What should we do? Well, I chose escape with Frederick last time, I think. I honestly can't remember what I did. Help Franz, I guess. Thank you, Elise. I'm thrilled to see Elise and her friend, but I still can't look my rescuer in the eye. What happened at the factory is still fresh in my mind. We have to go help Franz. He's fighting someone from Libertad. Oh, hey, I got a point up. Look at that. It's 2 and 2 and 1. Oh, it's so cute. There's nothing between Franz and Elise, Frederick and Elise, though. I don't think it'll ever happen. Yeah, Commander Wolf is also up there. We have to help both of them. Wolf? That horrifyingly strong woman is here? Phew, that was close. You know Commander Wolf? Yeah. Wow, you personally know the commander of Dragoon. Guys, let's talk about this later. You're right. Let's go help Franz and Commander Wolf. Well, if you ask me. Frederick, behind you! I turn around at the girl's sudden exclamation. There's a man coming at me ready to attack, but his movements are rigid and slow. In fact, he's shivering. Without lifting a finger, I nullify the gravity under his feet. The nullification only happens for an instant, but it's enough to give his stride enough force to send him tumbling through the air past me. The man slams into the floor behind Elise and Aretha. I continue forward without checking on him. The impact should have knocked him out cold. Wow, cool. Nice one. I should try that sometime. Oh, is that girl also gifted in willpower? Let's go upstairs. I lead the two girls to the staircase. When I take a step, my foot makes a spattering sound on a puddle of water. Why is the floor so wet here? Leaving the basement, we enter a lobby that's been transformed into a battleground. The beauty versus the beast. With no spells in the air, these two look human, but make no mistake, there be monsters. And suddenly the battle begins again. Fire tornado, a combination of tornado, amplified wind, and fire. Ice storm, an amplified ice, itself a combination of water and freeze. Tsunami, a combination of flood, amplified water, and quake. All of these are high-level combo magic spells that normally require two powerful magicians to cast, but these two monsters can cast them quickly and in succession. I mean, I know that a magician has two hands, so it's possible to cast a combo magic spell by oneself as long as the magic formula doesn't consist of more than 1-2 first-level invocations. But in practice, it's extremely difficult to pull off, and they make it look so effortless. And casting isn't their only forte. They can also dodge. And they must dodge. At this level of magic, it doesn't matter how strong a barrier you shield yourself with, you're done for if you're hit even once. A fight like this, then, is over at the first clean hit. A sudden death match. The two mages are still at it, casting spell after spell without stopping. When they're not casting a spell, they run, jump, dive, roll, and do pretty much everything that needs doing in it to get out of harm's way, and then they cast another spell. This would look like a magic show, an aerobatic spectacle they perform in sorcerer stadiums out of season, except those shows are performed by dozens of mages. Here there are only two demons who process mana into deadly but beautiful elements and keep on until it seems like they must be completely drained, and then they cast some more. Frederick, can we do something to help Commander Wolf? Right, I'll do something. My knees are shaking. What is there to do but marvel and tremble in the presence of such behemoths? I aim my right hand at the man and collect my willpower at my palm. But what exactly should I do? Attack him? What if he counters? That man could kill me with a flick of his finger. The muscle man springs forward at his female opponent with a startling speed for someone his size. Intelligence and courage are focused in his hands. The temperature drops in an instant, and freezing rain starts to pour down on Wolf. A single drop of the magical rain would freeze human skin. But the woman moves with inhuman swiftness as well, avoiding the freezing rain while sprinting towards her foe. She's glowing with courage. Sensing the danger, the man jumps back defensively. This is it. This is my chance. My hand is already shaking violently from holding strong-willed mana for far too long. While the man is still in midair, I set the mana free. Amplify! The gravity around him increases tenfold, pulling him to the floor with an insane amount of force. Yet the giant reacts with equally insane reflexes, managing to right himself well enough to land on his right foot and left knee. He absorbs the whole impact of my attack simply by being so tough. My gravity attack amounts to little more than a distraction for this monster. However, when you're fighting against a similarly crazy monster, even a small distraction can prove extremely fatal. When the man looks up, the female devil is already towering over him, a hand on his head, her empty, cold eyes peering deep into the man's eyes as though it were piercing his soul, like a grim messenger come to deliver ultimate judgment. Her eyes are empty as the great black void of death sentence she holds in her hand. But then the Grim Reaper smiles a devilish smile. It feels like this moment is frozen in time, but the man would only need a moment to escape. In fact, this moment, like everyone before it, is gone before it's begun. Okay. At that distance, it is impossible to avoid the attack, no matter how good a magician the beastly man is. After a grandiloquent display of high-level magic, the battle ironically concludes with fire, the most basic of basic courage magic. It is simple, but effective. A simple hellfire. The giant falls, all his strength burnt away in the fire. A lesser man would have died. This man is only unconscious. The mighty commander crumbles down to the floor. She sits with legs stretched out wide and both hands pushing down on the floor behind her hips, the weight of her back rested on her arms.
Damn, that was intense!
Commander Wolf, are you alright? Elise is the first to run to the weary woman. Wolf inhales and exhales slowly a few times before answering.
Yeah, no problem.
She eyes me casually, her formerly demonic face returning easily to a more human expression.
Thanks to our young lord.
I was hoping the force of gravity would knock him out. Wolf seems to smile warmly in response.
Not gonna happen, kid. Just saying Alisabana wouldn't go down that easily.
Because he had to deal with amplified gravity, I was able to get close enough to finish that son of a witch. If not, I'd have lost.
But weren't you and Jasang fighting neck and neck?
No way! That fire was my last bit of mana. If he'd have dodged that, well... Oh shit, I'm completely out of mana now. My troops are fighting Libertans outside, but I don't think Hendrix has been captured yet. What about Franz? Where is he? Franz? Oh, you mean your big brother? I think Hendrix lured him outside so Alisabana could have his way with me in here without any distractions.
Wait a minute, Franz is Elise's brother? Since when?
Okay, let's go help him. It's not that smart, but I ain't gonna stop you. Okay. Oh, this isn't going to replenish your mana, but... Elise crouches down beside the older woman and touches her arm compassionately. Amplify. Wolf's previously erratic breathing has become regular. Her pale face reddens and seems more alive. Thanks for the energize, girl. I'm feeling much better now. But still useless without any goddamn mana. Now go. Hendrix isn't Alisabana, but he's definitely stronger than your bro. Okay. Outside, the police are battling Libertad, a squadron of law enforcers against a pack of rogue thugs. A scorching fire bursts into life. A gale of roaring wind blows it out. Raging water floods. Rocky walls jut up from the ground to contain it. In front of us, a Libertan is fighting a police officer. You damn cop! Die! He shoots water out of his right hand, but the officer steps sideways to avoid the attack. You can't dodge forever! Drawing back his right hand, the Libertan brings the left forward in front of his chest. Huh? But nothing comes out. Out of mana? Damn! The Libertan fumbles around and pulls something out from under his shirt. It's a meat cleaver, the kind that butchers use to hack through small bones. Or animal bones. Wielding the cleaver in his right hand, he charges at the policeman. What an idiot. Ah! The policeman dodges his attack effortlessly and puts a hand on the Libertan's chest. The Libertan is thrown backwards. He skips off the street like a stone. Seeing his opponent down, the policeman quickly joins a comrade in a fight against another Libertad member. The cleaver has fallen not far from where I'm standing. Frankly, this kind of cooking utensil is completely useless in magic combat, as the policeman has just shown us. But the big boss of Libertad is not to be underestimated. I don't know how the cleaver could be any help, but I pick it up and tuck it away under my clothes. And now to find Hendrix. It doesn't take long. A short distance away, a pillar of fire wells up above the skyline. I try my best to transform the movement of the surrounding air to carry me away from Hendrix's fire tornado. The Libertad later leaps forward, unfazed by his attack, ready to unleash another. I don't know with what spell Hendrix will attack me, but I encase myself in a barrier. He's closing in fast. But suddenly he comes to an abrupt stop. He keeps his feet firmly rooted to the dirty pavement, his posture ready.
Huh, impressive.
Oh, never mind. Frederick! Frederick ignores me and speaks to Hendrix. I amplified your gravity, but you reacted in time. Good one. Godwin. I look around. The thunderous and explosive sounds from inside Mason have ceased. Just outside the building, Elise and Aretha are helping the police fight Libertans. Looking at Frederick and Hendrix again, I see the young lord getting ready to attack. Die, you scum! The ground trembles under Frederick's roar. The earth's wind shakes almost even. The earth's wild shake almost makes Hendrix lose his balance, but he widens his feet to stabilize himself. He's a very disciplined warrior. Meanwhile, Frederick sprints forward. Hendrix quickly takes aim at the young lord. A fireball flies at Frederick. Seeing it, Frederick gets ready to dodge. Frederick, just keep going forward! Heeding my instruction, Frederick continues to run towards our enemy. As the fireball closes in, I infuse my mana with intelligence. A gush of water turns the fireball into wisps of smoke through which Frederick sprints his willpower fully charged. The ground in front of Hendrix splits apart. From it springs a solid rock formation, striking the Libertad hard in the chest. Ugh! The impact launches him backwards. But before he hits the ground, his movements slow down. He has used a levitation spell to keep himself from hitting the ground. I can't give him any more chance to recover. I dash to Hendrix, leap into the air while raising a hand above my head and swing it down as hard as I can. Summon! A forceful gust of wind strikes Hendrix from above. He slams into the ground. Ah! Even though he's obviously in pain, he soon gets back up on his feet. He knows one wasted moment can decide this battle. Frederick summons a cloud of rocks above Hendrix. Even now, though, he's quick on his feet. Hendrix jumps backward, masterfully avoiding the rocky downpour. But before the rocks reach the ground, I cast wind to shoot them forward at the retreating magician. The rock storm engulfs him, wrecking his body and burying him in a pile of rubble. Hendrix is unconscious before he hits the ground. For a while, Frederick and I just stand in silence, cautiously observing the Libertad leader. Frederick glares at the unmoving body of our fallen opponent, his fists clenched tightly. Hey, Hendrix. He grits his teeth. Get up, you piece of filth! But the other man won't get up.
Hey.
Excuse me. Seeing their leader drown, the other Libertans panic and flee. Some of them manage to escape. Most of the rest are arrested without further resistance. Friends! Frederick! Wow, you guys managed to beat Hendrix. Unbelievable! Are you hurt? I can heal you. I'm fine, Elise. Frederick's fists are shaking. He looks incredulous. His gaze slowly drifts from Hendrix's unconscious body to my face. He doesn't say anything, but he looks furious. Frederick? His eyes, made dark by the light. Blah, 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 blah. His eyes, made dark by the night, are still fixed on me. Tch. Finally, he looks away, although that look of frustration doesn't leave his face. Well, it looks like everyone is safe. What about Commander Wolf and the police? Looks like they already have the situation under control. I wouldn't worry about them. They're professionals. Yeah, good point. What a day. I'm glad everyone's safe. Shall we go home? Yeah, my mom is going to kill me for almost getting killed like this. Don't worry, I'll drink a mana potion before we get home. I'll heal you if you need it. Okay, so what ending did I get, I wonder? Probably the same one. Before sunrise, the police had the situation contained. Many Libertad members were apprehended that night at Maison de Beauvoir. Some who had fled were later captured around the area. A few turned themselves in. The police operation was a success, especially because they managed to arrest Libertad's leader, Fyodor Hendrix. About a month later in October, the Libertad members were tried on charges of assault, theft, kidnapping, treason, and many more. Fyodor Hendrix was the sole Libertad representative at the trial. The remaining Libertad members stayed behind in prison. The only other defendant was Madame Edith de Beauvoir, who was charged as an accessory to Libertad's crimes for harboring the traitors. The trial didn't take long. In a matter of a few hours, the jury delivered a guilty verdict on all charges. The judge handed out life sentences to all Libertad members. Madame Beauvoir was sentenced to 10 years. In a move that set historical precedents for the reigning monarch, the king himself overruled the judge's decision for one of the defendants. Fyodor Hendrix's sentence was upgraded to the death penalty. A fortnight later, the sentence was carried out. Fyodor Hendrix was executed in a public forum. What are you doing? Stop that! Downloading enhanced dictation. Why? Can't you do that later? Okay. And that was the end of Libertad. The citizens breathed a collective sigh of relief, even those who had opposed the public execution. A key member... Would you fuck off? A key member of Libertad, Jisang Halasabana, was, however, never found. We later learned from Commander Wolf that Jisang had managed to escape from Maison de Beauvoir in the confusion of the mass arrests following the defeat of Hendrix. The police have been searching for Jisang since then, but to no avail. But, with the organization dissolved, Overture is once again safe. And what ending did I get? Like day 1st of September AM, 3:14. Oh no. Oh geez, come on. Exactly a year has passed since the incident at Maison de Beauvoir. Life has been pretty ordinary since then. That's good, I guess. Franz and Aretha have both graduated from the conservatoire. Sadly, Franz and my attempts to fix the broken piano with my magic failed, but thankfully Franz was able to graduate despite that. He now works as a researcher at Conservatoire d'Ouverture. I heard he has his own lab, just like Professor Poe. I'm happy for him. Aretha has become a kind of celebrity. I couldn't believe it. Her final project made headlines everywhere when it was published. I don't really understand what she was working on, but apparently it was a pretty big deal. Lord Godwin even came to our house to offer her a job at Magical Mechanical. She accepted, of course. I don't hear much from Frederick, but it seems he still plays Sorcerer. In fact, he's on his way on becoming a player in the International Sorcerer League. I think that's pretty cool. Everyone is doing well. I still live with Aretha and Elenus, but since Franz is not doing research on compassion magic anymore, I lost my job as an assistant. I planned on going back to the factory because I didn't want to become a burden to Aretha and Elenus, but with Maison de Beauvoir in shambles, I had to find a new place to stay in the Proles district. Knowing that I really didn't have anywhere else to go, they convinced me to stay with them. Elenus said I could help out at her clinic while looking for a job. So yeah, life has been pretty ordinary. Okay, so I did get a different ending. Which is good, I guess? Okay. Not really what I had in mind, but it's different. There's a true ending, and there's other ones as well, but I think I know how to get the true ending now, since I kind of understand how it all works. But if I was to do it as of right now, I would probably just skip all the dialogue and story and just make the choices. And then, if there was anything new that happened, I couldn't skip it, obviously, because the game won't let me, so then I would read it. But other than that, I don't know how I would do this, because I seriously just want a different ending, but I don't want to go through, like, all of the problems of getting it by, like, reading it all over again, because I already did that twice now. But you know what? I'm happy it's done and over. I'm a little bit more satisfied with this, I guess. She's not a maid. But I still want to know about this! That's the problem! I'm not gonna do that right now, though. I'll do that another time. I've gone through this too many times. I need to take a break and come back. And that was an octave higher. Again. So I didn't get any of the other endings I was hoping to get, but I got a different one, which is good. I got a different one than the one I had last time, which is good, I guess, but I wanted one that was more satisfying, like when they repaired the piano or something. Just anything. I just want the piano to be fixed, because I know it's possible. It has to be. But I will leave that for another time. For now, I will move on to other games, considering I need to for my own sanity. But I will come back to you. I will come back to you in Octave Higher, because you are frustrating as fuck. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.